Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Posttopostpod. Happy 4th of July to all our USA listeners. How are we doing, bud?
Doing good, buddy. I look like Ricky fucking Bobby out here.
Yeah, you're looking good. I love
Thanks,
it.
Talladega Nights action over here. Got our
Perfect.
USA jersey up in the background. I got my bandwagon Nordiques hat on. We're good to go.
Look like you're going to like a NASCAR rally later tonight. Just ready to go. Throwing some like those Budweiser July 4th cans with all like the American flags all over them.
No, we don't do those.
You don't do those?
No, we do Miller Lite and Coors Light. No Budweiser.
No Budweiser? Okay. I'm just saying you look like it. You look like you're cracking one of those cold ones, getting ready to go.
Yeah. The Miller Lights got that on their 30 packs too, though. Don't you worry.
Oh, shit. All right.
Stars and Stripes.
We're ready to go. Ready to go here in the States. So, we have a Stanley Cup champion.
We do.
We do. Colorado Avalanche. How was that? That's what I wanted. Not exactly what I wanted, because I wanted a Game 7 overtime, and I wanted Colorado Avalanche to win it. But, Game 6, I'll take it. I think we all saw it coming, too.
Yeah, I think you kind of saw the injuries catch up to the Tampa Bay Lightning. You saw their skates get a little heavier. They kind of got hemmed in their own zone. They definitely got outmatched in the third period of that game. 2-1 final score doesn't really tell the whole story. I think Colorado was all over them, but we'll get into it a little more later on, too. Right. We do have a lot of coaching moves and player signs to cover. So
I have something I do want to cover, though, too.
Go for it.
Not only is it 4th of July for our listeners, but today is July 1st. And you know what July 1st is?
What's July 1st?
It's Rick DiPietro Day.
Oh, jeez.
It's been a while. I think a few episodes you're like, have any Rick DiPietro news? And I was like, I'll think of something. July 1st, buddy, Rick DiPietro will receive his $1.5 million little check there. All the way leading up to 2029, man. So
that's more than $100,000 a month. That's pretty cool.
Not insane.
Yeah.
But some Rick DiPietro news for everyone. I feel like it's been a while. I need to throw in some news.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome. And anything for all our Rick DiPietro fans. I saw something about some MLB player too, who's like 35 or something like that. He's making almost the exact same as Rick DiPietro. I guess there's like another crazy contract in the MLB, so it's not just DiPietro.
I feel like 1.5 when DiPietro signed the initial contract too. That was big money in the NHL, right?
Huge.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I think that was up there with one of the biggest contracts we've seen. I think now they're like, we probably should not have done that in hindsight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But let's get into some hockey news here. You ready for that?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll start it off. So the Boston Bruins, your favorite team, they signed a multi-year extension with GM Don Sweeney. And they also signed former Blues assistant coach Jim Montgomery as the new head coach. Bruins also do not, to add to all this too, Bruins do not have a first-round pick during the draft this year, and Pastrnak did say with 1 year left in his contract that he could move the no-trade clause if Don Sweeney may come back and then that he wants out of Boston. So a lot of little talk here with Pastrnak and Don Sweeney. I guess we'll see what happens. But how do you feel about this Don Sweeney extension?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last episode. I mean, I don't think anyone around here is really a fan of this. It doesn't really make sense from any of the moves. It kind of seems like they're holding on to some glory that, isn't really worth holding on to. I think it's very hard to draft and develop a team and work from the middle of the pack, especially when we get into it later on and mention that they don't have a first-round draft pick this year to make up for, their short-sightedness. We also have Bergeron coming back this year. Pastrnak claims he wants out. Krejci is allegedly coming back this year as well from the Czech League. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's another year where they're going to be dead middle of the pack. They're going to try and make something out of nothing, and they're going to wind up exactly where they do every year.
Yep.
In my opinion. I don't know. We'll see, though.
I'm with you.
I want to give Jim Montgomery a chance. I'm happy that we're signing him to be our head coach. But the reason that we are signing a new head coach just doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for us to have moved on from Cassidy.
Doesn't make sense
at all. A couple of my friends have said that they think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to win the Cup now that he's going to be leading that team, especially with the roster and the names that they have, as long as everyone's healthy next season.
Fantastic coach. I can see, why not. That'd be nice to see.
I could tell you one reason why not. Robin Leonard.
Yeah, got a good point.
I think that's going to end up being their weakest area. Like, he statistically hasn't really gotten it done in the playoffs,
Yeah.
They got there, but I think it was more of a flurry thing, and then all the goaltending drama that they've had. I don't know. I don't know. I hope they can get over the hump, but I don't really see that in Robin Lehner personally.
I thought of Darcy Kemper too. I know you can't really compare Darcy Kemper and Robin Lehner, but I was just thinking of Darcy Kemper where we just saw his stats where like he wasn't like that top tier goalie in these playoffs, but he was backing for a team that was just offensive, defensive, absolute fucking powerhouse, and they're able to win the cup that way, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Robin Lehner can get that luck with the Vegas Golden Knights, but
Yeah, you don't need the best goaltender in the world. You need the best goaltender in the playoffs, right?
Right, 100%. Mm-hmm.
We have another head coaching sign here. The Red Wings have named Derek Lalonde as their new head coach. Lalonde has a long hockey resume. He's most recently won 2 Stanley Cups with the Tampa Bay Lightning as assistant coach. He was a head coach for the Iowa Wild, the Toledo Walleye, and the Green Bay Gamblers. And before that, he was the assistant coach at University of Denver and Ferris State University. Steve Yzerman knows his guys. He knows who he wants. And obviously, there's a reason you're bringing in a Derek Lalonde here with the career resume he has and the 2 Stanley Cups he's won with the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know, shave a little bit off of what he's learned over there and bring it over to Detroit.
I said this before, and I'll say it again. Detroit they're down there, but they're on the rise. They're gonna come back to. I don't know if I could say 2008 type of like Detroit Red Wings, but they're back on the rise, and I think Stevie Yzerman has everything to do with it. He's just making the right moves left and right here. So don't be shocked with Lalonde making some big impact here on the Detroit Red Wings organization.
He has a lot of talent to work with. He has a lot of young guys, so I think if he can get some good structure going there, guys like Moritz Seider will shine even brighter than they did this season, which will be hard to picture. But one last sign, too, for the coaching staff, or for head coaches, I should say. Winnipeg Jets have signed Rick Bowness as their head coach.
Big move. Coming from Dallas Stars, right?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
I don't know. I can't say much. Rick Bowness was the one that brought the Dallas Stars to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2020. 2019. That's so 2020. They were in the Stanley Cup Finals with Corey Perry, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yep.
So Bowness, solid head coach. I think Winnipeg is a great team. I don't know. Rick Bowness is gonna help Winnipeg out. Maybe bring them back to the playoffs and get back to where they were. I mean, with Hellebuck and their team, man, they were great a few seasons ago, and all of a sudden they missed something or lost something, and they gotta kind of get back. What am I trying to say here? Get back to where they were. Yep.
Rick Bowness is actually 67 years old. His career resume is insane. He's been coaching since 1982, and his first career coaching job was in '84 for the Jets. Wow. He was up and down a little bit, but ended up coaching the Bruins in the 91-92 season as a head coach. Ottawa Senators, Islanders, Phoenix Coyotes, Vancouver Canucks, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Dallas Stars.
So he was a coach for the Jets back in
89, yep.
89.
And before that, 84.
Wow, holy shit.
It's crazy.
I wonder if that was the reason why they're just like, hey, you kind of... I mean, it was a different organization. They kind of left and came back.
That is kind of come full circle. I could see him like retiring there, too,
right.
if they do well. But I think it's going to be a long road ahead for the Winnipeg Jets. Their organization doesn't seem to be heading in the right direction, the team, the players, things like that. So, I have higher hopes for them than I think I should, but I think this might be a tough year for that team.
Yeah. What do we have? We have a few other things, too. Yeah, with the coaching. Apparently, like 90% of the coaches this postseason have just been, like, fired, moved. We're going to see a lot of, like, coach news in the coming weeks. Although I definitely feel like we've been talking definite head coach signings and assistant coach, so I think we're toward the end here of like when everything's like going to be set and done, you know. But we also have the Vancouver Canucks. They named Mike. I keep wanting to say Yayo. It's Yo, and Trent Cull as assistant coaches on Bruce Boudreau's staff. I want to say Big Bruce so fucking bad. Jeremy Colton has been named the head coach of the Abbotsford Canucks as well. Send Colton down to the AHL. That's fine. But yeah, big move. I like Mike Yeo. I think he was solid with the Philadelphia Flyers. Was that the last team he was on?
Yeah, he's been an assistant coach for the Flyers for the last 3
Flyers.
years. Head coach of the St. Louis Blues from 16 to 19, right before they started to turn it around. Head coach for the Minnesota Wild and assistant coach for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yep.
He's been coaching in the AHL since the year 2000.
I mean, he's got the veteran presence right there.
Yeah, 48 years of age, born in 1973.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think having him as an assistant under Bruce Boudreau, a guy that has been a head coach before, as long as he can sit back into that assistant coaching role and still be content and happy with himself, I think that this is almost like a dream team staff that the Vancouver Canucks are going to have now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Thatcher Demko is I think he's that goalie now. I think we just need that team in front of the Vancouver Canucks right now. And then I think we'll finally see the spotlight of Thatcher Demko being the solid goaltender that he is, But they are missing a few. Weren't we talking about Brock Besser? Weren't they talking about signing him?
Yeah, we can jump to that real quick. The Canucks have re-signed forward Brock Besser to a 3-year, $19.95 million contract, 6.65 mil AAV, and I think that seems about right for him. The years seem kind of short, but I think that's in the player's favor personally.
Yeah.
And 6.65, man, he's only going to make more than that after this, I think, regardless of how his play goes.
100%.
He's shown that he has that next level that he can get to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the team around him needs to build and grow a little bit more.
Right. And maybe save some cap space and bring in some more people for the Vancouver Canucks,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We also got, you ready to move on? Because we have a name that I know I'm going to butch. We literally went through this, and I know I'm going to forget how to say this. But the Washington Capitals have hired Emily Engel-Natsky, as the full-time female coach. Who's the first full-time female coach in NHL history. Emily will be the team's NHL video coordinator, which is cool as shit to see. So we have 3 current right now females in management right now in the NHL, and now we have the first ever female assistant coach, which is awesome to see. Full-time, not even part-time, full-time coach.
Yeah.
She's getting it done.
Yeah, pretty cool to see the amount of I want to say growth that you'll see in players nowadays based on the video and the tapes and the analysis that they're able to look at, the in-depth look at every single play, how to maintain speed with your crossovers, your zone entries, everything like that, your positioning. It's so cool, and I think a video coordinator is one of the unsung heroes of the NHL and can really highlight and spotlight, working points and things that players do very well in their game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I hope that she has a lot of success here with the Washington Capitals organization.
Yeah, me too. We also have the San Jose Sharks. They have informed Bob... we've been calling him Boner this entire time. Bob Boner that he is being relieved of his duties as head coach. So add another coach that is currently jobless. I don't know. I definitely could see it. San Jose is they became that number 1 team in the West down to one of the worst. So it's just they need to do something. I'm shocked this didn't happen as quick as everything else that's been going. All the other head coaches moves that's been happening as of late.
Yeah, they finished last season with a 32-37-13 record, 6th place in the Pacific Division. Definitely a hard division to be in. Only 3 teams qualified for playoffs there, so you really got to fight for your points. I do think that the West, like we said before, there were a couple teams that really shit-kicked the rest of their conference and 100%. Just ate up all the points. So that was part of it. But, yeah, I think it's time for a shake-up in that organization, and hopefully they start trending in the right direction again.
Right, 100%.
California hockey has really died lately.
Died. Remember San Jose was great. LA Kings, they won the Stanley Cup.
And the rivalry used to be the best when any of those 3 teams would play each other, and it was some of the best hockey you could watch. It was always a good game.
Yeah, they really fell to the wayside, all 3 teams. It's kind of fucking crazy to think about now. Interesting.
But we do have some player signings here, too. The Tampa Bay Lightning wasted no time in re-signing forward Nick Paul to a 7-year, $21 million contract, $3 million AAV.
Because why wouldn't you? Have you not watched the playoffs? Have you not seen what Nick Paul has done throughout this playoffs? You really saw the player that he is for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I saw this. I'm like, yeah, well worth it.
I totally think that he was a guy that was going to go to the market, shop, and get more money, more bang for his buck. $3 million is a very fair number for Nick Paul.
Yeah.
And I think he probably didn't want to take the risk of going to shop the market and having them, slide in another guy in his spot while he does that. Because I think at best, Nick Paul is going to get maybe $4.5 million somewhere else. But, I mean, he's already on a really good team that has a shot at the cup every year now. That's a great contract for him. That's long-term, too. That's good.
Yeah,
cool to see. So let's hope his game grows with the team, too. The Dallas Stars re-signed their goalie Scott Wedgwood to a 2-year contract extension for $2 million, $1 million AAV.
Oh, worth it. We've been talking about him since COVID when we first started this, dude. Scott Wedgwood is just that goalie that just comes in and just shuts the door. He came in with that whole from Arizona Coyotes. He came in when Braden Holtby went out. I think Jake Ottinger at one point was out. Antoine Hudobin too. And here comes Scott Wedgwood, just dude, can you just help us out? And Wedgwood just shut the door. And with so I think Jake Ottinger's I can't remember the goalie situation. Anyway, Scott Wedgwood is just a solid sign for the Dallas Stars.
I agree. He has a good career resume with Tyler Seguin too, so definitely a good fit for their locker room as well. And hopefully the Stars can get some more production out of their top players. That's really all they can ask for there.
Right.
The Buffalo Sabres have re-signed their goalie Craig Anderson to a 1-year, $1.5 million contract. He's one of the oldest players still playing in the league, I believe.
Not going to lie, I actually like this. Remember we were giving him shit, and then he came in for the Buffalo. I'm like, wow, he's actually playing pretty well for the Buffalo Sabres.
I personally am not for this. I think Buffalo needs to do something, and all these signs that they've made for the past year, it seems like they don't want to do anything. They would rather tank, save up draft picks, and get there someday, but not this year. Don't get me wrong, Craig Anderson's a great goalie. He was a great goalie. He's a little past his prime, I would say. But to really only be paying your backup goalie $1.5 million and getting a Craig Anderson, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that's key to success, personally. It is a way to save money and shop around a little bit, but I don't know if they're actually going to do that. So
wait and see.
They got to spend some money.
Wait and see. There's going to be a lot of moves going on this offseason. Hopefully Buffalo Sabres can pull something out of their ass. We liked them.
They got to pull something out of their. They got to pull something out of their purse and get that wallet out.
Toward the end of this season, this regular season, Buffalo for some reason was on this fucking tear, and we're like, oh, okay, now we kind of see what they can do. Who is it? But it's Tokarski and now Craig Anderson, right? I don't know. Maybe they're just let's get some decent goaltenders to get us through. Maybe sign players first, and then start getting into goaltenders.
No, they signed. Remember, they signed all season long. Everyone $750K, $750K, $750K.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We have no all-star talent. We have an injured guy over from Vegas that will sign. That's it.
Jesus. Yeah, Keuchel wanted out. Oh shit! Jesus, it's been a long season now. I'm thinking about it. Puck is we had that short COVID season when God, you just gave me flashbacks. Holy shit.
You want to move on to LA here?
Yeah. Oh, sorry for me. All right. Big news here for the LA Kings. They have acquired Kevin Fiala from Minnesota in exchange for the 19th overall pick in the 2022 draft and the rights to Brock Faber. Fiala had 33 goals and 52 assists with the Wild last season. And then right after, Fiala was then signed to a 7-year, $55.13 million contract with the Kings, which is $7.87 million AAV. Fiala, solid pickup for LA Kings, who we just talked about, needing to part of the 3 California teams that need to come up, and I think Kevin Fiala is a solid pickup for the LA Kings.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great. He'll probably play top 2 lines on this team.
Yeah.
I mean, he really changed his game around once he went to Minnesota. Nashville was kind of playing him a lot of games. He wasn't getting a lot of action, though. He's probably 3rd or 4th line guy.
Yep.
And then once they moved him, I don't think the initial trade, he was sent for a lot, like a big package, but he really only played a few games for Minnesota that season, the last quarter of the season, I'll say.
Yep.
But then he came in guns blazing in the 1920 season and then on. So 54 points, 40 points, 85 points last season. So that's a big season, too. Yeah,
I have it on our Instagram. I can't remember the actual stat, but it was 30th in the league in goals, and I was pumping the tires of the Florida Panthers this entire time, and he's actually right above Sam Reinhart, who I talked about several times, and there's Kevin Fiala I've scored more.
He's averaging right under a point per game for the last 3 seasons too, which is huge.
That's nuts. Great pickup by the Kings.
Yeah.
Love this. And then, as I said, I keep saying a few episodes ago, but I honestly do think it was a few episodes ago. Edmonton Oilers goalie Mike Smith is expected to go on LTIR for the remainder of his NHL contract. There is talk about Edmonton going after Ville Husso as well. So Mike Smith out. You got Mikko Koskinen that went over to Finland or Sweden, one of those, somewhere in Europe. And so both goalies just out, and you need something. And there was talk about Ville Husso, so we might be seeing some Ville Husso news with the Edmonton Oilers. He's a solid player. I like Ville Husso. He's a solid goaltender for the St. Louis Blues, who's getting shit done while Jordan Binnington was warming up the bench. And I don't know. They need something. They want to go back into the playoffs, right?
Yeah, Edmonton just can't do anything right, man. Is Ville Husso going to come in and win Edmonton a Stanley Cup?
Nope.
Right? Like, what are we doing here, guys? Mm-hmm. I don't know. He's a good pickup. Don't get me wrong. You need two goalies, right? So he's a good backup, but I don't think Edmonton is a team that should be focusing on getting a 1A and a 1B. They're a team that needs to get a starter and a backup and go through the regular season, get your wins early, lock in a playoff position, and then kind of coast a little bit. Get your starter his rest, and then ride him in the playoffs. That's what I think, at least.
No, you're absolutely dead on, because guess what we saw in the playoffs? Get what we saw in the playoffs. Mike Smith, he's just that old goalie that was kind of, he would be solid for a little bit, and then just let in these tricklers, and Koskinen kind of got it done a little bit, and it's just, you don't have that 1A, 1B. It was just these guys that...
To counter myself, too, though, look at the team that won the Stanley Cup. They had Francouz come in and play a bunch of games. He played, I think, 6 games, 6-0. Mm-hmm. They have a solid 1A, 1B for when Darcy Kemper's injured.
Yep.
Tampa Bay didn't really go 1A, 1B, but there were a lot of teams this playoff that, went the route of having a 1A, 1B situation, and it worked for a little bit for a few of these teams, I'll say.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it is the future, but
maybe it is luck of the draw. Maybe
I don't know. I like to see a starter and a backup personally.
Yep. I mean, you need it now, don't you?
Yeah.
Just makes sense.
We did have one retirement announcement here too. Detroit, the former Red Wing Pavel Datsyuk has announced his retirement from professional hockey at the age of 43.
Still going.
He only played for the Detroit Red Wings his entire NHL career, which is pretty cool. You don't see a lot of players play for just one NHL club. He most recently played for Yekaterinburg Automobilist in the 21-22 season, putting up 12 goals, 23 assists for a combined 35 points.
Still got it.
Played in 953 career NHL games, scoring 314 goals and 918 points.
I'm actually
almost
shocked
a point
he
per
didn't
game
hit,
as well.
I think Pavel Datsyuk, just the name itself, I'm shocked he didn't surpass that 1,000 game mark. That's in my head. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think it was harder back then to really
hit that,
rack them up the way that players do nowadays.
Right.
And especially he was really the first stick handler kind of guy. He came into the NHL in 2001. I feel like between 2001 and 2011 is exactly where the league flipped from heavy bruiser lines that would crush people and into a bit more of the skill transition. I think Datsyuk had a lot to do with that. He was one of those guys that changed the game.
Oh, yeah.
But that can also keep you out of the lineup a little bit. It doesn't look like he missed too many games to injuries. No. But I just think the bruising, the beating that you take from that can hold you back a little bit. He also did kind of leave here and there a couple seasons. I think one might have been a lockout, the 2004 lockout.
That's
he went over to Russia, so that can take 82 games off the list. There was a half-season lockout as well, and then he left the league in 2016 to go play in Russia full-time. So
that's right. The Datsyukian goal.
Yeah. So that was 953 NHL games. He played a ton more in the KHL too.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this. I'm like, is this a joke? He's still playing? And I was like, holy shit.
He didn't play this season, though, too. So it seems like a lot of these guys, play last season and then they take a year off and then announce their retirement because they're still, toying with the idea of coming back.
Yeah, right. I think the biggest news I think we're going to throw will be when Jaromir Jagr is just I'm done. And then it would be insane. I'd be like, this isn't real. No, he'll be back. Don't even throw it up as news. Be like, he's lying. But yeah, so congrats to Pavel Datsyuk.
Hell of a career.
Absolute leg for the Detroit Red Wings. And talking about I don't want to call him Hockey Hall of Fame quite yet, but he could be in the talks. But we have the 2022 Hockey Hall of Fame inductee classes. We have Daniel and Henrik Sedin, Danny Alfredson, Roberto Luongo, Riikka Salonen, and Herb Carnegie. So, we all know Daniel and Henrik Sedin, Daniel Alfredson, and Roberto Luongo, and I have some, for everyone who doesn't know, I got some information on Riikka Salonen and Herb Carnegie. So I'm just going to talk about them for a little bit. So Salonen represented Finland at the IIHF Women's European Championship, winning 3 times, participated in 8 IIHF Ice Hockey Women's World Championships, taking home 6 bronze medals and 1 silver, and made 4 Olympic Winter Game appearances, collecting 2 bronze medals. At the first women's hockey tournament in 1998 Olympic Winter Games, Salonen led the games in scoring with 12 points, 7 goals, and 5 assists in 6 games, helping Finland to Olympic bronze. And now you have Herb Carnegie. Give you some information on him. Is regularly considered the best black hockey player to never play in the NHL. Playing with the Buffalo Anchorite in Timmins, Ontario, the team won the championship in 1941 and 1942. Though Herb played with his brother Ossi in 1940-1941, it was in the 1941-1942 season that the famous Black Line or Black Aces first played together. The first all-black line in semi-pro hockey was comprised of Herb and Ossi Carnegie, along with Manny McIntyre. He dealt with difficult and soul-crushing racism throughout his career, but kept his head high throughout his career. Following his retirement from playing, he founded the Future Aces, one of Canada's first hockey schools, in 1955, and passed away at 92 years of age on March 9th, 2012. So big names there, Riikka Salonen and Herb Carnegie. Herb Carnegie, I'm shocked we really haven't heard of. We've been talking a lot about integration with the NHL, more black players coming into the NHL, and Herb Carnegie just seems to.
Well, we talked about him a little bit when we talked about the all-black line that played in the NHL this season, or the AHL this season too. I think there was both. We brought up Herb Carnegie's line, the original Black Aces. Yep. And the only thing that I hate about this is the fact that it takes this guy, waiting 92 years, never played in the NHL, passes away in 2012. He doesn't even get to,
literally 10 years after
get the respect away. And, gratitude that he deserves to be, the professional that he was back in the day. That's insane, all the shit he went through. And, he lives his whole life and gets no recognition until he passes away.
Yeah, so if you guys want to learn more about there's a lot. There is a lot to Herb Carnegie. You can probably Google Herb Carnegie Hockey Hall of Fame, and that huge thing full of his whole story throughout playing hockey, and it was just incredible to listen to, and how difficult it was for a black player at the time. 1940s was just brutal. The stories he had was. It was just fucked up. So, literally to the point where just I know we're kind of late right now in 2022, but we're finally coming to this with Willie O'Ree, where we're spreading, hockey to, open more doors, with different races in the hockey world,
Yeah, definitely. It's cool to see how much the game has grown. Imagine 30 years ago, we'd say that Jamaica has a hockey team. They'd be like, that's hilarious. You know what I mean? No chance. Or even the group from Kenya that played with Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So,
that's awesome.
Very cool to see the game growing here.
100%.
I did have something really cool, though. Those little patches that we saw on the back of the players' jerseys? So we had some interesting stats from the league's new tracking software that showed Florida defenseman Radko Gudas shot the hardest shot this season in a live game at 101.7 miles an hour. And a little side note on that same list, New York Islanders defenseman Ryan Pulock appeared 3 times in the top 10 hardest shots this season.
Holy shit.
I think there must be, I don't know how they do it, like a speed gun in the net or what they do, because initially they wanted to put a little tracking chip in the puck, and players that tested it out said, I can feel the difference. Yeah. And I don't know if it's placebo effect or I know it's in there so it's messing with me,
right.
Or if they really did know, but I would be interested to know how they're actually tracking that one. But on the jerseys, they had the little chip that's right on the back left shoulder. They tracked top speed for that, and the fastest speed reached during live gameplay was 24.9 by Carolina forward Martin Necas.
Jesus.
And you could see that on the ice too. He's a really fast player out there. Pretty cool to see.
Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember talking about this started during COVID, right? Am I wrong? Where this rookie
They started like talking about it, getting the ball moving, and I think the chips came into effect at the beginning of this season.
Mm-hmm.
But the puck tracking thing had been in talks for a little bit. Yeah.
I wasn't really like against it, but I was kind of confused by it. I actually like seeing these type of stats. I actually like seeing it during the game too, or just like even with the chips. I don't think we even have it on here, unless we do. Shit. But we have. Did you put up for Game 6 in Tampa? Oh, Game 5 in Tampa. Fans were able to see all the players on the ice.
They basically did like a live simulation of the game with images on the ice for each player. And I was saying, the second you sent me that, I'm like, dude, in a couple of years, we're going to be paying for tickets to go to the Tampa Bay Lightning arena while they're away playing somewhere else and watching holograms of the players on the ice doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
it's gonna be insane.
That's where this tracking technology is going to take us.
Mm-hmm. I really
living in the
This.
metaverse.
Yeah, it's literally insane. We're all going to be wearing it's going to go from there to just all of us just like Wally, just like wearing VR little glasses, 300 pounds. I can't wait. You know what?
I'm already there, buddy.
Can't even wait.
I got glasses. I'm 300 pounds. I'm already there.
Can't even wait. I'm actually happy about that. Let's go for it.
All right, you want to get into the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 6, the only game we didn't get to cover?
Let's do it.
So, Colorado forward, this is before Game 6 now, Colorado forward Andrei Burakovsky and Tampa Bay forward Braden Point both have to miss a game due to injuries. So, midway through the game here, starting face-off of the third period, this was kind of a little funny, back and forth. Brandon Hagel's lined up for the face-off, and he's got his head down, and Nathan McKinnon squeezes in, to take some space and gets into a little headbutt battle with him. The referee had to get involved and separate the two players. It's kind of nuts to see, right?
I was loving the little rivalry this Stanley Cup final has caused.
Yeah, those two teams hated each other, man.
Yeah.
I felt like there was a lot of hatred there.
It was great. You got a battle, though. You have Tampa Bay wanting another third, and you have the Colorado Avalanche wanting their first in years. So
yeah,
it was just perfect. I loved it.
The Colorado Avalanche go on to win this game, 2-1 victory Sunday, June 26th over the Tampa Bay Lightning in their home arena, the Amalie Arena. And then there was an odd scene here with 25 seconds left in the game. Kucherov was seen at the bench. We didn't know why at first, but he's throwing his gloves at the trainer on the bench. It was because he didn't have his stick ready for him when his stick broke on the ice. It's just so messed up to see, wasn't it?
Yeah. You get the competitiveness, though, where you're just you broke your stick. It's literally your job to have that stick ready. And
there's no time
Stanley
left in the
Cup
game.
is on the line, and they have 30 seconds to maybe tie it up. And here he comes to the bench, and the guy's just oh, sorry, I don't have your stick ready. I can feel the frustration.
It seemed like he wasn't even looking at Cooch either. It looked like he was working on something else, too.
I can feel the frustration 100%.
Yeah.
But,
so, after Colorado wins here, Cale Makar ends up getting the Conn Smythe Trophy for the playoff MVP. I think you have a few notes on him down below, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right, buddy. That Conn Smythe made him the fourth most in NHL history for points in a single postseason by a defenseman with 27 in 18 games. Then you have Paul Coffey with Edmonton with 37 in 18 games. Brian Leetch from the Rangers in 94 with 34 in 23 games. Then you have Al McInnis from Calgary in 1989 with 31 points in 22 games played. And then that's just what's going on with him point-wise. And then I'm going to go back to the whole Conn Smythe Trophy. So Cale Makar is also the third defenseman in NHL history to win the Conn Smythe and Norris Trophy in the same season, joining Nick Lidstrom in 2001-2002, and Bobby Orr, who won both 69-70 and 71-72. Cale Makar is just breaking records left and right. I did the first thing I said, I kind of bullshitted it. I wanted to talk a little more into it. So the first player and when he's the fourth most in NHL history for points, it was Paul Coffey with 27 points in 18 games, and here comes Cale Makar, which is also I butchered that too. Sorry, fuck me. So, Cale Makar was 27 points in 18 games, and Paul Coffey was 37 points in 18 games. That's just 18 games in general. But for second and third, they all had to do it within 34 games and 33 games and not 18. Isn't that nuts? Like how, like he's up there with Paul Coffey in points, Cale Makar. Like, it's just unbelievable. And it's just like a certain amount of time that like pushed him forth, you know? Isn't that weird? Like, that's how good Cale Makar is. Like, you can compare him to Paul Coffey.
Yeah, he is a game breaker, man. He has changed the game entirely. I'm actually going to jump ahead, too, and talk about Nate. I believe it was Landeskog, actually. He had a great quote. Emily Kaplan had a really weird question she asked him, but I'll reword it for her. It was basically what other teams should look at the Colorado Avalanche's lineup and replicate on their team. And he says, find a Cale Makar. So, I mean, you see it around the league. You see Detroit got their Moritz Seider. You see New York Rangers have their Adam Fox. Like, this is the next level. This is fine. Basically, Cale Makar is Connor McDavid, but on defense. You need to find a Connor McDavid for your team, whether it's offense or defense, and that's how you get the job done, you know? Mm-hmm. And you have to build around that guy and give him everything he needs. Even Devon Taves, his line mate, coming over from the New York Islanders, that was a huge pickup by Colorado, and it made a big difference having both of those guys, two of the best defensemen in the NHL, on their top line.
100%.
So that really gets the power play and the penalty kill going at the same time, especially when a guy like Cale Makar can get zone entry and the rush that he does have, you know, up the ice.
It wasn't. I mean, it was just the playoffs, just in general, where we're able to see like regular season. Yeah, like you're making an impact. It's the playoffs where you see special players get shit done. We talk about like Sidney Crosby, Ovechkin, like. Those are the special players, like, in the playoffs where shit matters. They get shit done. And here's Cale Makar doing exactly what he's done in the regular season, but somehow better. Mm-hmm. Like, he would, as a defenseman, by the way, would skate through 3 to 4 guys like a wing, you know, like a center. It was unbelievable watching him play.
And I think one thing that doesn't get talked about enough, too, like, I think people keep this very close to the chest, but the coaching changes and the analysis that they have to do about the other team. During the regular season, you're seeing a different team every night, but you go in with your same mindset, your same strategy, and you hope that it works against the other team, right? You tweak a couple things based on what you know.
Yep.
When it comes to playoffs, you play 2 or 3 games, feel each other out, and now the coaches have to really look at it and say, this is where they're beating us, this is their tendencies, and this is what we need to do to beat them. Like, the small changes that a Cale Makar and guys like that have to implement into their game in order and still maintain the level of greatness that they have while changing their game entirely is so impressive.
Just
like
crazy.
I was thinking about this when I think of Makar carrying the puck through the neutral zone, taking the offensive zone. Like when he turns the puck over, there's a forward that knows, all right, he's coming up the wing. I need to be back on D. And then he knows exactly when Cale's going to be home to cover when he's on his way back into the defensive zone too. Like
it's nuts.
There's so many changes and things that go on.
It's like the future of hockey, defensive-wise, too. Cale Makar.
100%.
It's going to be insane.
I think he's changing the position the same way that Connor McDavid changed the forward position.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But looking at the coach, too, Jared Bednar is the first head coach to win all 3 major levels of hockey, winning the Kelly Cup in the ECHL with South Carolina in 2009, the Calder Cup in the AHL with Lake Erie in 2016, and now the Stanley Cup with Colorado this year.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool to see, too. I mean, he's come in and taken over for Patrick Waugh, who said he didn't like the way that the organization was trending. He didn't like what was going on there. And Bednar just comes in and flips the entire script, you know.
Mm-hmm, right.
You saw it in post-game interviews. Nate McKinnon's like, I've been in the league for 9 years. I haven't won shit. And now he's lifting the Stanley Cup.
Right.
And just it's just great to see. I thought it was awesome. I think there's not a better guy to have won the cup, too.
No, not at all.
He's like a John Cooper, in my opinion. Like, they're both the same level of greatness.
Right. That's just like Ovechkin. If they didn't have that 1 year where the Washington Capitals won the cup, man, he'd be like one of the best players that ever played in the fucking league without a Stanley Cup, you know? Just like there's guys that are just like that, you know?
And there's a lot of them, man. Like, those opportunities don't come quick enough.
No.
A lot of the players that we're telling the young guys, like, you need to, like, live this and enjoy this moment because, like, you might never get back here again.
Get it. Yep, 100%. You know? It really goes to show you, one, how difficult it is to win the Stanley Cup. And, like, if you're a great player, like, it's not a one-man team. Yeah. It's a full team. Mm-hmm. So you have to be a great player on a team full of other great players willing to do what it takes, you know?
Yes, and all those players need to buy into the same program, too, which is pretty cool to see. Mm-hmm. But let's get to the fun stuff here. Let's get to the celebration. Colorado forward Nicholas Aube-Kubel dropped the Stanley Cup as he was skating over to sit with his team for the celebratory photo. This was like 5 minutes after they got the cup, and he dented it on the ice in a pretty major way. It was kind of vicious to see. And it was just funny. You sent me one that was all the players. You could see their instant reaction when he dropped it, like oh my God.
Shit. Yeah.
But not to be outdone, later on the night when everyone's buzzing, defenseman Curtis McDermott falls over at the bar while raising the cup over his head, and he just looked crippled. He fell down, man. He like broke a folding table.
Hammered.
The cup like landed on his head. Oh, it was brutal. So tough to see, but hilarious nonetheless. You know. Kadri had an awesome post-game quote too. He says, "For everyone who thought I was a liability in the playoffs, you can kiss my ass." Like right into the mic, like
love it,
looking right at you,
it.
Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was pretty cool to see.
I think the post Stanley Cup playoffs, like when you won the Stanley Cup, I think that's when you get like the actual like reactions from like players.
They don't have to like watch themselves, say whatever you want.
Yeah,
you know?
they're just like too pumped. So like you ask them a question, they'll tell you exactly what it is. Like I remember like 2009 when Marc-Andre Fleury won the Cup. Remember that save where just like he went down and like had to like
dive across first,
and got the chest. They like after he's like won the cup and like freaked out. He's instead of like being a professional, the interview was just like, what was going on in your mind when that happened? He goes, oh shit, and just so it's just like you get like the actual reaction from everything. I love Nazem Kadri. You're like eat shit. Like here I am with the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, he doubles down on this too. Savage mode goes to the parade celebration wearing a custom Too Many Men shirt from his game 5 winner. So I thought that was ruthless of him. He had a
that goes back to Tampa Bay Lightning where it was over the cap, that T-shirt that was going around.
Yeah, they did the same thing. That's right. Yep. That's funny. He actually had to wear a special protective glove too in order to play. He returned to play just 18 days after his thumb surgery. His thumb was fractured in 2 places, and like I said, game-winning goal in Game 5.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about injuries too from the other side as well.
Yeah, and I think Kadri's a UFA this season too, so he's gonna get paid for sure. Yeah, let's get into the injuries too. The only other one I have for notes here for Colorado, there's definitely more, but Valeri Nichushkin played through a brutal foot injury in Game 6. He couldn't get his skate on without medical assistance. That thing was like black and blue.
That photo was brutal.
Did you see the X-ray one too?
No,
it was like if your foot's like this, it was entirely snapped right across the center of it. It was 2 pieces.
And Harry is skating on like NHL level.
Yeah,
that's insane.
He had some awesome highlights in those games too after he was playing with that.
But with that said, for the Tampa Bay Lightning, it was John. Was it John Cooper? It was oh man, who's he had the fan on the stage too from the Tampa Bay Lightning with the beard and everything. What the hell's his name? Not Braden Point. Is it Braden Point?
Kucherov? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Tampa Bay Lightning player with like the beard, and remember he had the fan on the stage with like fan in the stands with like the helmet. He was drinking a beer.
Yeah, Pat Maroon.
Pat Maroon. There we go. Sorry, completely butchered that. It was after the Stanley Cup final loss, where he was just beside himself, and he's like, "Don't worry, like you'll see the injury report after, and you'll kind of get a deal with."
Yeah, John Cooper said that. Yeah,
I thought he said it too.
Might have.
Yeah, it might have. That's where I got it from. But he said that, and then I was like, well, let me see what's going on, because we've talked about this when the playoffs even started, where it's like these guys, they might not even say it, but these guys are playing through injuries left and right. Like, this isn't baseball. This isn't any other sport. Like, these guys, like, break arms and, like, still play to win that cup, So here is the injury report for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You have Braden Point, who played through 2 games with a significant tear in his quad. Nikita Kucherov played through a meniscus injury. Anthony Cirelli played through an AC joint sprain and will need surgery for it. Brandon Hagel played through the Stanley Cup Final and Eastern Conference Final with a foot fracture. Nick Paul played through a shoulder AC joint sprain and MCL sprain. And then you have Corey Perry played through a shoulder AC joint sprain. Ryan McDonough played through having mangled finger. And Pierre-Edouard Bellemare played through a meniscus injury. So, like, half this team was just injured trying to win that cup. It was unbelievable to see this, Imagine playing through most of these.
No.
I don't know what the hell a mangled finger is, but that just sounds bad.
Yeah. It just shows the dedication, the grit, the grind that it takes to just get it done. And, I mean, these guys, as much as the skill gap looked like it was there in the third period and everything, these guys gave it their all. They didn't come in after winning 2 cups and say, you know what, we got ours. Like, it's fine. Let's just lay down and give them theirs. You know, they were grinding for it.
They're grinded.
I mean, a 2-1 game is so close on the scoreboard too. I think I remember too, as they were handing the cup over to Colorado, you got a nice clip of the Tampa Bay Lightning going down the hallway locker room, and Vasilevsky was so mad, dude. He was just screaming his head off.
It hurts as a goalie. I think as a goalie, especially Vasilevsky, knowing all of his guys are playing through like these brutal like injuries, and you couldn't get the job done. As a goalie, like mentally, it's just like it would hurt you too. And because I feel like that second goal was very. I feel like Vasilevsky should have had that in my head.
I think as a goalie too, like there's no player on the ice if they're injured that impacts the game more than the goalie. So I think it was really good to see that Vasilevsky was healthy, because that's something could really be like a backstop for their team and allow them to play through all these injuries. If your goalie's injured and he's trying to play through it, you see it with Tuukka Rask on the Bruins. Like it doesn't end well.
Work.
You know, it doesn't. It's just different. But I did have a few quotes to go here too. Nathan McKinnon had a quote on Crosby. These two are like best friends. They train in the summer together. He goes, "I've been the drunkest at his Stanley Cup party, so he better be the drunkest at mine." And Cogliano actually deadline pickup skates over to McKinnon during the celebration and yells 87 at him. And McKinnon explains on the mic that his hotel room in Tampa was 1787, so the two players just knew when they saw it that they were going to win the cup. So pretty cool. A lot of references to Crosby here.
I can't imagine Crosby drunk. Can you? I feel like he's that guy that just like, no, I don't drink beer. Sorry.
No, probably not beer. I bet he's drinking like Pink Whitney or like vodka, right? Just get more bang for your buck. Nathan McKinnon was also quoted saying, quote, "I might get fat as shit right now, so I don't know about if we're going back to back." McKinnon's actually known for having a very strict diet and regimen, much like his favorite player. Yeah. He actually put a lot of his team on that. He puts a lot of pressure on his guys to maintain, and no cheat days, and he's all over them at practice and in games and stuff. So
fun random fact about Sidney Crosby, by the way, he's got a strict diet, but right before game time, like in the locker room, they have peanut butter and jelly waiting for him. Like he makes peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, that's hilarious.
On the ice.
I think he's an ice cream guy too, isn't he?
He is, something like that.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he sits there and makes PBJs before a game.
That's pretty hilarious.
I don't know, give you some.
Yeah, I like crunchy, dude. You like crunchy or smooth? Do you have peanut butter and jellies?
Dude, peanut butter is like my fucking go-to.
Yeah, you like crunchy?
I'm allergic to chocolate.
Yeah.
But smooth's the way to go.
Oh, dude, crunchy's so good.
Question, Jif or Skippy?
Skippy.
Yeah,
Jif is like store brand in my opinion. I like Skippy way better. Skippy extra crunchy, dude, so good.
I've never done it, but I feel like I would disgust a lot of people because like mentally I'm like, I could do it. I could grab a spoon, a jar of fucking peanut butter, like Skippy peanut butter, and just sit there and just fucking.
I could do like one spoonful, but then like my mouth's all stuck together, and I'm like, I'm done with this.
That's what water's for.
No, it's too much.
Too much?
No, what you should do though, if you like peanut butter, because you can't have chocolate, they have a Reese's peanut butter lovers. That's
dude, I'm already on that. Bud.
Yeah, all right.
Already on that.
I figured.
Did you know they got rid of it for a while?
Oh, really?
Me and Tommy were at Walmart setting up for getting like camp stuff for the camp that we did. And I look over the Walmart, and there's this king-size all peanut butter, and I almost had a heart attack.
That's awesome.
Getting these.
Oh, man, that's pretty funny. That's a genius plan. There's also a genius working for the NHL this year.
Whoa.
He decided that they should put a GoPro on the Colorado Avalanche's champagne bottles for some awesome footage of their celebration.
Yeah,
this was
I actually
sick.
really like this.
Yeah.
This was cool as shit.
Great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Parade recap, too. Bo Byron was stopped by the police during the parade celebrations because they thought he was a fan who climbed over the barricades.
He looks like a fan, though.
He does. He looks like some young kid.
Crushing biz left and right. I'm sure he just, like, police like, all right, buddy, get over.
He must have been so bummed because they're announcing all the players. They're walking out of, like, City Hall, it looks like. And they announced number 6, Eric Johnson, and he walks out.
Walks out.
Like, so funny, dude. Must have been bummed.
He is hammered. Someone threw him a beer. Was it Bo Byron that did the jersey chug?
Yeah, I think he did. A few of the guys probably did. That's classic now.
Trash.
I love it.
I'm loving seeing this.
Jersey chug's awesome. They're going around like pouring Pink Whitney in people's mouths and stuff.
Why wouldn't you, man?
Yeah,
Why the hell wouldn't you?
did a shoe beer too. That's so gross to me. I would never do that. That's disgusting.
This is the celebration I wanted to see. And we're getting it.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Well deserved for a lot of those guys. I mean, Eric Johnson was on the verge of retiring, and he stuck around for one more year and gets a cup. Like, think about the regret he would have if he didn't. Dude.
Maybe two, Pete.
Yeah, it could happen. I don't know. Maybe you think he'll come back?
Yeah.
It'd be cool to go out on top, man. If you were thinking about retiring before, and then you win the cup. But at the same time, like,
I was just seeing
we just did it. Why would I stop? You know?
I was just seeing like their top brass guys for the Colorado Avalanche are still young, like 23,
Yeah.
24. Like they still got another
Yep.
one in the tank.
They have
could
a
be
good
another
core.
Tampa Bay.
They have a good core. They have a good GM. They have a good coach. Like,
They got a good third jersey. Loving those Quebec
Yep.
Nordiques
Yep,
jerseys.
that's right.
They're fucking ready to go. Yep.
but yeah, that's it. So congrats to the Colorado Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup.
Love it. Love it. That's what I wanted, Jim. Now, hold on. Now you can say you can bet against Tampa Bay.
Now I can. Yes,
Now
thank
you
goodness. I just had to be wrong at some point.
And it had to be this.
Had to be the Stanley Cup Finals.
Mhm.
But your pick for the Stanley Cup Finals was correct from the beginning of playoffs.
Yeah, Colorado Avalanche, buddy.
Let's
ready
go.
to fucking go. Yep.
So that's it for Stanley Cup and NHL talk here. But I got Bob McKenzie's scouting polls. Juraj Slavkovsky of the Finnish Elite League has finished as the top draft prospect for this year's NHL entry draft. He actually finished ahead of Shane Wright of the OHL and Logan Cooley of the USHL.
Wow.
I'm still seeing a couple like mock drafts that still have Shane Wright going to the Montreal Canadiens, though. I think they'll still take him, even though, McKenzie's putting Slavkovsky above him in the draft pool,
It's not on here, but this actually doesn't really shock me. I'm sure players left and right is going to come out of nowhere. Just names you've never heard of, but go look at stats for the AHL, the OHL, just the juniors itself. Shane Wright was up there for a while. He's just a big name. But then, when you go on the stats, you realize, oh, this player is, better than him, in OHL, AHL. It's not, huge better, but also, statistically just, better than him. So I think we're just going to see names that, you don't know, but if you look it up, you're like, oh, shit, yeah, dude, this guy's, definitely worth the money,
Yeah.
So we're going to see, a huge... This goes back to what I was saying, where this is the new generation of hockey. These guys that coming up right now, the juniors and OHL and stuff are just holy shit. Bring them right to the NHL and they're just gonna change the game like Cale Mackay,
Right.
Mm-hmm. But we also have, guess what? You were right with something though. By the way,
I knew it.
You knew it. The St. John Sea Dogs have won the 2022 Memorial Cup over the Hamilton Bulldogs in a 6-3 final. Islanders prospect William Dufour won MVP with 7 goals and 1 assist through 4 games. Again, to preface, the Memorial Cup is a 4-team round robin, which determines the champion of the Canadian Hockey League. Congrats to the St. John Sea Dogs, and congrats to Chris.
Thanks, dude.
So who just randomly threw it out there?
Hey,
they're gonna win it.
Home ice advantage really went to prove things here. William Dufour, never heard of you, buddy. Way to go.
I had no idea how much you knew of the St. John Sea Dogs.
Yeah.
And then I found out.
I knew they were in the Memorial Cup and they had home ice. So.
Yep. And you're like, I'm gonna.
That's
pick
my
these
scouting
guys.
report.
These guys are gonna win the Memorial Cup.
I'm the next Bob McKenzie.
Holy shit! Wow. Elliot Friedman, maybe.
Yeah.
Kevin Weeks.
Insider.
Dude,
Insider.
Why am I here?
We did have the Chicago Wolves winning the 2022 Calder Cup as well in the AHL. And the goalie Alex Lyon actually decided to flip the Springfield crowd off after winning the Cup. He was later suspended for 2 games for double Freedom Rockets.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
He's a pretty good prospect, though. We've talked about him a little bit in some of these other tournaments.
Alex Lyon,
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen him for, wasn't he prospect for the Philadelphia Flyers, if I'm not mistaken?
No, but we are going to get into another prospect for the Philadelphia Flyers here. Let me just confirm. Yeah, you're right, actually. He has played a few games, NHL games for the Flyers.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts.
I knew I recognized that name, Alex Lyon.
Yeah.
So good for him.
That's funny. Another Philadelphia Flyers prospect, goalie Ivan Fedotov, has been detained in St. Petersburg, Russia, for evading the army. Apparently, the detention was initiated by his team, Siska, for him attempting to evade his military service. That's kind of nuts, isn't it?
Fuck Russia.
I think it's part of it's like...
Sorry, I didn't mean that. Fuck Putin. That's what I meant.
I think part of it is, the team's like, you've signed with Philly, I know you're going to leave us, so, we don't really care, dude.
Yeah.
You're either going to serve... We're going to make you serve the military for 2 more years. Just a scumbag move by the team, too.
Yeah, but isn't the team, run and owned something by Putin? Doesn't Putin have, some finger in ska?
He's got it with just the league in general. He kind of picks and chooses who's going to win.
I'm sure that has everything to do with it.
I think he's got bigger things going on right now.
Yeah, getting shitted on. His own, I can't remember the city. They held... It literally happened today.
What did you say, keratin or something? I don't know how you spell it.
Carinane? Fuck, you know what? I'm gonna get this right because I have it saved. But the Russian airborne made a big boo-boo. Where the fuck is it? I put it in the... it's right here. It's right for me. So, yeah, the Russians airborne missed and bombarded their own territory in Ukraine, which is Carson, with bombs. So it's like, hey, we're just going to bomb our own little people here, and, dude, it's not looking good. You know that island where Russia was going into and the guys, like, fuck the Russian warships?
Yeah.
You know they had to, like, retreat?
Yeah. I mean, Ukraine's fighting them off pretty well, it seems.
Yeah, I think Germany sent them over panzers. They're getting shit done. Germany seems to be the good guys now. It's been a long time since that, and
Yikes.
sorry, I was just making a meme.
Tough take.
Alex
Ovechkin actually signed a one-day contract for FC Dynamo in Russia, and he scored a goal from his spot on the ice. Like, it's the same exact area. It's like that right hash mark right by the goal.
The
like,
Ovi spot.
So funny, dude. He actually wore number 3 in honor of his father, Alex Ovechkin Sr., who wore that number when he was a member of the team, too. So for anyone who wasn't clear, too, he was playing soccer and he scored. This is nuts, dude.
All this really dropped the day of the game.
Yeah, like, they were like, the game's set to start in an hour.
Yeah.
And he was, like, ready to go.
Someone was like, wait a minute, is that Ovechkin? And then all of a sudden, like, they're like, holy shit, here's news.
He also, like, trucked a player on the other team, too.
Yeah, and then it's insane. Like, I remember seeing it, and, like, I thought, we talk about puck Empre, and I literally had to stare at it. And I'm like, is there an eye? Is it all messed up?
Yeah.
And then, and then he scored. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Ovi can do it all.
Yeah, he sure can.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got, buddy. Plans for the weekend?
I got nothing. Long weekend. 4th of July weekend. By the time everyone hears it, here's this episode, Monday. I have no idea what happens.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll be definitely drunky poo Saturday and maybe Monday poo.
Maybe do the 999 challenge Saturday. For the listeners who don't know, this was hilarious. It's Randy Ranks Beers, the guy from I think he's partnered with the Friday Beers now, or one of those guys. He came up with a 999 challenge. It's 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, and 9 innings of baseball.
I haven't watched baseball in forever. How long is an inning, do you think?
I think like it's not like in the inning, but I think the game's like 3 to 3.5 hours if you get it like a long one.
So if you break it down per inning, it's like
3. So it's like 60, 100, 210 minutes divided by 9, right?
Yeah. 210 minutes divided by 9.
Yeah.
Oh boy. 210 divided by 9. Let's see. 210 divided by 9 and 23. Yeah, like 23, 24 minutes per.
24 minutes to drink a beer and eat a hot dog.
Yeah, we could do that.
9 times over.
9 times over.
That's a lot of dogs, dude. We're gonna be like Joey Chestnuts.
Right. So I asked this to Chris. Oh no, because you have to do it per inning.
You don't have to. You just have to do it in the span of the game.
Within the span of the game.
Yeah.
So
there's strategy to it. It's kind of like
to it. But for everyone who's listening in, you could comment on our latest post on the Posttopostpod Instagram post, or you can go to the YouTube for this video. I asked Chris about this. All right, say there was no regimen to this. Say no hot dog and beer per inning, right?
Just get it done.
You just need 9 hot dogs and 9 beers throughout the entire game. Do you do the 9 dogs in total and then chug 9 beers, or do you like take it even? Because in my head, if you're gonna do 9 beers, you're gonna be fucking.
You're going to be so full regardless of what you do, dude.
Well, you're going to be full and shit-faced at the same time. But at least with the hot dogs, it kind of calms down the shit-facedness if you're eating and drinking.
Maybe you catch a good buzz, right? Like, get like 5 or 6 down, and then like chill for a minute, like power hour it, right? And and then chill, catch that buzz. You know how like you drink a little bit, you're like, man, I'm hungry. And then you house like all 9 hot dogs and round it out with 3 more beers. Right? I don't know. Maybe that's the play. I'm just going to try. Since it's our first go, I'm going to go 1-1 every inning and see if I can do it. Take me out to the ball game special. That's disgusting, dude. 9 hot dogs.
Jesus. Going to be fucking thrown up in the backyard.
Oh. That's gross. Yeah, but I plans for the weekend. I think I'm gonna go to a little cookout tomorrow.
Whoa.
I got a wedding Sunday, and I got to work Monday.
You gotta work Monday?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? That's so un-American of you.
Yeah, it is. But what is
What the hell is
American?
open?
You know what is American? Selling beer. Liquor stores are open, baby. Gotta fill them up. Fill them up nice and good.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
Doing the Lord's work over
You
here.
are. You're doing God's work right
Yeah.
now. You know what? I should praise you.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the guy I see when I'm just like already half in it. Be like, hey, what's going on, guy? I need more.
Yeah.
I went to one of you guys' places, by the way. It's in Quincy.
Which one?
It's Supreme Liquors. It's near
Wollaston Supreme.
Wollaston, yeah. I go in there, and he was telling me, like you were telling me. I was telling him Boston doesn't do regular nips anymore, but you guys do, and you guys do have two spots.
Dorchester has nips.
Yeah, and you guys do have that. So I was like, okay, now I know where to go because there's so many. Boston's doing this thing now for pollution that do like if you're gonna do a nip, it's like this fucking loyal can big ass one. Where I'm like, I don't want that. I want the small ones where when we hang out with the boys, we can just do like a quick nip, and for some reason they just get rid of it. But I guess you guys are still selling it in Dorchester for me. So
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard of Boston getting rid of nips.
I was hearing about it. I heard about it a while ago.
Yeah, I heard Revere did it in one town down the Cape, and now Quincy was thinking about doing it. I didn't hear anything about Boston.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah.
We were just talking about Boston for some reason, being like just like a drunk, like we just drink.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're getting at.
I don't know what I'm getting at either. I'm getting at the Happy 4th of July. That's what
Happy
I wanted
4th
to
of
say.
July.
Yep. But with that said, that ends this episode, and we have Crown Royale Vanilla.
Oh boy. I wish it was apple, man. The apple's so good.
Yeah, I know. For everyone who's seen my latest episode of Mic'd Up with Matt, you will all know that I've had a few of those Crown Royale apples before getting on the ice.
This isn't gonna be good.
First time a little tipsy on the ice.
This isn't gonna be good.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Cheers, buddy.
Boys, cheers, boy. That does not taste like vanilla.
Oh, Jesus. Aftertaste does.
I'm trying to like wait for it. No, it's just I just get like a straight whiskey.
I'm dropping everything over here.
I
I
don't know.
gotta go to bed. It's not 1 a.m. this time though, so I'm happy about that.
No, I think last week I left here at like 2.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad. But we were just waiting for the game.
Yeah.
That was probably
That's why. Yeah, we set ourselves back watching Game 5.
Before we go, I do want to say one thing since it's our stuff. I don't really like to post shit, personal stuff on here, but I think I did. I did a memoriam on our podcast maybe a month ago, whatever, with my grandfather's passing. But I do want to say I did have another passing in the family, which is in just, oh man, it just shows you how like random life can be and how kind of precious like life just in general is. My cousin Jackie, who I grew up with since day one, she was 34 years old. She had an aneurysm. She was just complaining about a headache. That was it. Like, she came home from work. She was fine. She was like, oh, I got this random headache, which you wouldn't even think of at all. Had an aneurysm, and it was like literally, that was Wednesday night. By Thursday afternoon, she was just completely brain dead. And she passed away Sunday after taking her off life support. But she was an organ donor, so 2 lungs went to a guy in Texas, I think. Don't quote me. I totally forgot what it was. A heart went to someone who needed it, and she had a liver that went to someone who needed it. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So it was just like just a blessing to have her, you know, just in life, and she was able to still bless other people too, even in the afterlife, by giving people who need to keep on going, you know. So like, rest in peace. Her name was Jackie, so rest in peace.
Let's dedicate this one to her.
Yeah, 100%.
Should have done this before the nip.
Yeah. Want another nip?
No, I don't want another nip.
But with that said, want to call us out?
Thanks everyone for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace.